you are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club. And it will always
team is pitching a plan to revitalize a historic gem in our community, and it's a project that's driven by their passion for their sport.
State of disrepair right now. Concrete sort of crumbling a little bit. The bleachers.
Football club. We're at Keywood Stadium. This stadium was built in 1936. Simply put,
it's amazing to see just how far they have come. Years ago, they were playing over at Gas Tech, and now so many people.
I don't think somebody's scored the goal to really settle in. The post and Stephon St. Louis is there to clear it.
Yeah, in the background, you know, they give us the 12th man. You know, it's awesome.
Fans to watch. We're happy to put on a show for all these guys that came out to see us play.
Act when we move, they move, and just communication is the biggest part.
Great. I think we could have earned a shutout earlier against Sparta in the year.
Awesome. You know, the atmosphere is amazing.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the
People know us now. People know what to expect. Now we gotta take it to another level.
Look, city till I die. Say hi to the bad fella. Hella smooth with the flow, so grab your umbrella. Yeah, we make it rain, bring the pain. Things are changing. Power rankings take a spanking, got them rearranging. They said Denis are all stars till we deboed all y'all. Ball of fist and brawl y'all. Yeah, we pissed off all y'all, and we thin but still winning. Grinning at the top, got up under head spinning, make that chin pop. Blue collar clocking in. They been mocking us for days till they step into the key, and they been leaving with a fade, doubting us, but then they swayed. Say we pout, they throwing shade. You will never have what we have, time to get the blade, cause we'll be cutting them up. Yeah, we're shutting them up. We ain't bluffing, tell you something, better knuckle up. Y'all ain't nothing but chumps, we put in overtime. We'll be putting in work until it's closing time. City till I die, talking blood, sweat, and tears. City till I die, we've been building this for years. City till I die, this don't happen.
So I guess hello, welcome to everybody. For this evening's show, I'm your host, Denis. Tonight we have Jaime Wave.
Hello.
And Adam, who for some reason is hiding behind his hands. I don't know. But I can assure you these shenanigans will be ending tonight with my new reign as host. And then we have Alan wearing some sort of newfangled outfit on his body. Say hello, Alan.
Hello.
We're on video now, you guys. You have to, you know.
Yeah. Sit up straight.
All right. So
smile.
We're gonna run a tight ship tonight. All right. This might be our first
podcast.
Might be our first sub 1 hour show since 2019, which is when Red actually started this. But now that I have banned Red, I feel like we can keep it under an hour. Okay.
That's right. No. Yeah, I hear him scratching at the door at the tunnel.
Yeah. So. No shenanigans tonight. Just straight up talking about the facts. All right. So this marks the start of a new serious hosting gig, which I'm gonna put on my resume probably.
Attention.
I do just want to get out of the way very early about this rival show that I've heard about that one of our ex-hosts is now running, Garrett. And anything you may have heard on that show that was dropped today before we recorded is blasphemous lies. And we will be going over our own stuff with our own itinerary, our own agenda
brewing
that Garrett had nothing to do with. And I just wanted to get that out of the way there because I know some people have been confused about the fact that there's two shows going now. Especially the person that seems to be on both of them, who is covering his face for some, I don't know. Something seems to have befallen Adam since we started recording today. So, I of course am back this week after a sabbatical last week, so I could become a real American, which was a fun time. I got to go to the federal courthouse and get the sales pitch from the federal judge about how great America is. And actually, I spent a lot of that time sort of how Adam is right now, hiding behind my hands and trying to mask the fact that maybe I disagreed with a lot of what was being said. But it was a fun time. My family were in town for it. It was very good timing. I had to take the oath, which I don't really understand the oath, I have to say, because it basically has you denounce your old countries and your old governments and all this. But like you, as an Irish person, don't have to give up your passport to become an American citizen. So it seemed a lot of like moot points. Like, why am I saying these things when I'm still Irish? Like, you know.
Did they force you to buy a gun?
They didn't because Chicago's not a very gun-friendly city.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's right.
I think when I cross the border back to Michigan,
don't tell anyone in Texas that, because they'll immediately give you a gun.
Well, no one from Texas would come to Chicago anyway because they're scared of the city. So
that's true.
Is what I've been told. I've never actually met someone from Texas. I'm not sure it actually exists. So. All right, so I think we should start today, even though Garrett did send an agenda. I just didn't agree with what we were going to start with. So we're going to start with Matty's retirement because I think that's probably the biggest news for all of us going into game week 1, and the fact that, Matty is usually one of the first.
Can we stop for a second?
Hey,
because I'm thinking about Dennis just sitting there on his couch with a shirt and tie and his hair combed, all ready
What do you
to
mean?
go.
What do you mean?
Jaime,
Well, he's an American now, so he's got to
Jaime not sending out
get
the
dressed
link.
up.
Like Dennis just sitting there just devastated that Jaime hasn't sent the link, and he's just sitting there on his couch all dressed up.
First of all, that's an unconfirmed rumor.
This is how I always dress. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dennis was somebody who was almost stood up on a date tonight. That's what we almost had, and thankfully Jaime remembered to get that Zoom link together.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get that off your chest finally. I will say that I did plan this out earlier on today, but when I sent the voice note to Jaime, which for those not in the group, obviously, which is everybody outside this conversation, it was just me screaming, Jaime! I had not actually started to get ready, so I did do this in the last 4 minutes. Between the time
This was
Jaime
on his
said
third
1
basket
minute
of bread rolls and glasses of water waiting in the restaurant.
Yeah, I just got off my shift.
Yeah, my date will be here.
Yeah,
soon.
Exactly. Alan gets it.
Thankfully, Jaime showed up with the link.
Yeah,
for Dennis's sake.
Yeah. So my wife didn't get home from her dinner date and just see me sitting here in a shirt and tie watching The Office for the 50th time. All right, Jaime, lead us off with your thoughts on Matty's retirement. Maybe give us your favorite Matty moment and how it will affect us going forward.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's come out of the blue a little bit. I wasn't expecting. I don't know if there was any inside information that anyone had about this, but obviously, in a statement, it sounded like maybe there was a little bit more to it than just athletic reasons. So hopefully everything's good with him and his family and everything. But yeah, it's a big loss, especially this close to the start of the season, and I'm sure. I'm assuming we're going to be looking to add another player at least. I mean, the transfer deadline is obviously not for a while, so there's not any of that time crunch. But just from a squad standpoint, it does leave us a little bit thin at the back. And favorite Matt Lewis moment? I mean, there's some obvious ones. I think the favorite one of all time for me personally was last year. He scored this outrageous goal. It was from a corner kick. It went near post. He kind of flicked it with the outside of his boot, looped over the goalkeeper. Someone who will not be named tried to get a touch on it. He didn't get a touch. It's clearly Matt Lewis's goal. But what a great for a defender! He scored some really pretty impressive goals, and that was my favorite of all of them. So.
The assist to Ben Morris was your
how dare you?
Moment.
How dare you?
This is the best assist of the season. Obviously.
This is blasphemy.
So Adam, Matty, and Stevie, and more recently Devin have kind of formed this formidable partnership back there. How do you see that between now Stevie and Devin? I guess going forward without Matty.
I think it'll be fine since they are going with a 4-man back, it seems like. And at this point, Stevie and Devin have played together long enough that, I mean, it sucks that Maddie's gone and he's retired. He's not going to be playing with the team anymore. And obviously this hurts. I think anybody denying that is lying to you, lying to themselves. But I think that it's not devastating. It's devastating in the sense that it's sad that we're not going to see him anymore. But I think it's something that they're going to be able to, they're going to be able to get over it. I mean, the season isn't lost because of this, and like I said, they've been playing together long enough. And even if you slot in, Michael Bryant back there as well, I think it'll be fine. Favorite Maddie moment. I'm gonna go, for that moment where he actually put the ball in the back of the net and not an assist.
Conclusively.
I mean, you can't look past the first goal in City history or City professional history against the LA Force back in 2020. The last game before the world fell apart. So
4 years ago today.
Was it 4 years ago today?
4 years ago today was, I think, when Tom Hanks announced that he had COVID, which is, I think...
I thought you were talking about the City goal.
That caused the first actual lockdown, Tom Hanks.
No, COVID.
Oh.
I think people widely regard the announcement of Tom Hanks having COVID when I think he was in Australia or somewhere, as
when celebrities got involved, that was serious.
Yeah. Not that I had been.
This is real, man.
Christmas 2019, I was home in Ireland and they were talking about this new weird virus that was popping up by the time I got back to America, and it wasn't that point that we were worried. It was when Tom Hanks, St. Tom, got it. Alan, what about you? Say some nice things about Maddie and give us a core memory.
Yeah, obviously to go through most of preseason with the team, and then this announcement comes out. I think it must have been a decision that came somewhat abruptly. We based on his exit statement to the fans, it sounds like it was perhaps necessitated by the home front. But I mean, he's had some serious injuries. I wonder if it's all kind of part of it. That perhaps after preseason, maybe he wasn't feeling it, and then pressures of other responsibilities. Yeah, I've said it on other podcasts, but this is kind of a young person's game. You look at what happened with Matt Sheldon. Oh, by the way, you're playing in Detroit now. Move everything to Detroit right now. It's just like that's easy to do when you're 20 years old. But you throw your stuff in a bag and you go. Mm-hmm. But when you get older and you've got family and you've got responsibilities and others to be mindful of in terms of their situations, I can understand that at a certain point, it's not workable. So obviously we're going to miss him because he was an integral part of our defense line, and that was really, at many times where it was the highlight because we weren't as productive up front. But I think we have, if this had happened last year, obviously we would have been an enormous jam. But we do have a little bit more cover now, and will someone come in? I'm sure they can find somebody. It's just it's probably it sounded like it was an abrupt decision for the club too. That it's like I'm out. So we'll have to see what happens. Now in terms of I guess my most indelible recollection is the photo. That is just, that I will never forget that because that is such a classic moment in city history, and it says a lot about the squad and just the kind of guys we have. That'll stick with me for a long time.
Yeah, that's 3 good memories there. Yeah, I think Matty he'll be a big loss, but not like a detrimental one. I think the boys can cover for his loss of experience. And yeah, like we said, everyone's been playing together a while now in the back line there. So even if Mikey needs to slot in at points, I think he'll be fine. My big memory of Matty, it's not really a memory, I guess, but it was like a realization the time he got taken up for like a week for cover into the USL while we were still NISA or whatever. That was like a big point for me where I was like, oh, maybe the talent levels, which I'm sure I had preached by that point myself, but maybe the talent levels aren't that wide of a gap if they're
where did he go on loan? Was it El Paso?
El Paso, yeah.
El Paso, yeah. So
it was during the Independent Cup.
Yeah. So I think he just went for a week or two. I don't know if he even played any minutes for them, but like they were willing to bring him.
He didn't get any time.
Yeah, as the cover that they needed. I think a big thing with Matty is that I've seen elsewhere from Adam is that Matty was a big proponent of sharing like Pride Raiser stuff and being a good like spokesperson on the team for Pride Raiser. So that's something that we'll surely miss. And speaking of Pride Raiser, it is coming up soon. Not that soon, but like it's always soon once the season gets started. So if anybody was looking to help out with that this year, I know Adam is ready and willing to accept volunteers. So just hit myself or himself or really anyone from the podcast up online or any of the NGS socials.
This is where you insert the email address.
NGS Cares DET@gmail.com.
Said with such conviction that's definitely the email address too. But yeah, y'all know who we are online. Just find one of us and send us a message, and we'll get you where you.
It's like that thing where you never call yourself. You never send yourself an email.
Yeah. But yeah, keep that in mind. The season is a coming, and that's one of the big things for the season, especially early on. That just kind of creeps up. So if you were ever thinking you wanted to help out, now's the time to get involved. All right, on to the next big thing since our last podcast, which I wasn't on, but I did listen to. The owners meeting.
I'm sorry, it's ngscares@gmail.com.
There we go.
NGS Cares DET. NGS Cares DET is the Twitter handle.
Okay. So there you got all the ways to get in contact. So that was a fun owners meeting, eh? Were all 3 of you there? Jaime, you weren't. Or you were?
I ended up not being able to make it.
Okay, so just the 2 boys down here. So why don't both of you throw us out your thoughts from what you heard there? What I have down on the agenda is kits, the biggest takeaways from the meeting, and then the CBS deal, which has since been announced but was only kind of alluded to at the meeting.
You can start down.
Okay. Yeah, this is an annual event. Sometimes big, sometimes small. I think last year there was an attempt to kind of whip this into a big event, and it kind of didn't work for logistical reasons, and so I think this year the club was mindful of some of the issues we had last year and tried to make this more accessible. In a new location, and I had never been in that particular meeting hall, but it seemed to work pretty good. And good chance to visit with people before the season starts. Did get a lot of information thrown at us from the club because this is really their chance to like kind of lay it all out, and so we did get the PowerPoint presentation and all the reports from the various departments of the club. And the fact is, we're a big enough club. We have departments now, so that's pretty cool.
Where's our tax forms, Alan?
Yeah, that saga is soon to be resolved, hopefully permanently, with a new owners platform. I guess I don't even know what it is going to be, but
Yeah, it's only allegedly going to be solved because what if we move from WeFunder to some other fucking shyster crap? So fingers crossed on the saga.
I'm really doubtful that anyone could be worse than WeFunder in terms of customer service. So
this feels like you tempting fate the way you do.
we were plumbing the depths of customer service.
They're going to announce.
I think it's like two guys in an office, and like, oh my god, what do they want from us now?
No, they're going to announce WeFunder next.
Hey, if we get three guys in an office, that would be a big step up. So that was one of the little tidbits, is that owner shares will now be convertible. That is, people will be able to sell their shares, and the shares that are freed up can be purchased by other owners. So I have heard on the grapevine that there are some individuals who are looking to unload their shares. So now might be a chance to up your stake. I know that my infinitesimal stake, probably picking up a share or two, is not going to move the needle too much. But that's that also is a bit of a sign of confidence, because that's always been an open question. It's like, what do we do with these shares? Can we do anything with them? And all the details are murky at this point. But so we did get a financial report. Was particularly keen to hear that. It's such an extraordinary moment to see those numbers get bigger and bigger every year. Harkening back to the time where the budget of the club was, guys throwing in cash, to get the bus or whatever, rent a bus for the team to go to Erie or wherever. And now it's a multi-million-dollar enterprise. And so, yeah, it's always good to get a little peek under the hood. And, it is what it is. It's both like everything's going great, and it's also, we could do better. So that's pretty standard. What else? I think the real reason everyone was there for the kits, but we're going to discuss that more in a minute. So,
yeah, I think that was good that you mentioned where it was, because that obviously I wasn't there because I don't live there anymore. But it seemed like the general consensus was that the venue was a lot more like Detroit City supporter than the venue had been last.
The vibe was good.
Yeah, so I was sad to miss this one. It was like the first one I ever missed, but yeah, it sounded like it was a lot better of a venue, although still quite as noisy as last year. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there was still quite a bit of noise, and obviously we were sitting at the same table last year, Dennis, and kind of got it was kind of useless to pay attention to anything last year because you couldn't hear anything, you couldn't see anything, and yeah, it was better this year in that sense, but I think I said it last night, they could have used another set of monitors in the back still, because the sound still didn't carry great. Couple of other things though. Obviously, we did get a hint of the of the new broadcast deal, but that Alex was just itching
on the tip of his tongue, and he just couldn't say anything yet because
I'm actually kind of surprised
hadn't been tried yet. Yeah,
I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't accidentally blurt it out, because it was huge. It was a huge announcement that came yesterday. And then something that it seems like it's kind of getting forgotten about is that international friendly with a Liga MX side.
Yes.
Still yet to be named. I did ask Sean after everything was kind of settling down towards the end of the night if it was going to be Club America or Chivas, and he said no. So we're not going to be able to. we're not going to be able to run the gauntlet on clubs from Guadalajara, and Club America is probably not coming to Keyworth, so which is disappointing. Those are the two teams that I wanted. But yeah, other than that, yeah, mariachi band, they could have mic'd them up a little bit better.
They came through loud and clear on the stream.
Did they come through on loud and clear on the stream? Yeah, they didn't come. They could have mic'd them up live in person, but yeah, it was your typical owners meeting though. It seems a lot of numbers, a few announcements, nothing this year about a wrestling match or anything like that, and in between a double header.
Whatever happened to that?
I don't know. That was one of the bigger disappointments of last year, though. We got they sacrificed the wrestling match for the Rod Stewart impersonator, which was just dumb.
I think when they started looking at the actual logistics of setting up a ring and stuff like that, they realized it was completely half-baked.
Not gonna happen.
Realized no wrestlers wanted to wrestle in the open air on a 100-degree day in the middle of summer.
So, yeah, it was a decent night. And that's all.
Jaime, anything to add? Did you get to listen to the stream at all, or no?
No, I just was picking up the tidbits on Twitter and other social media outlets. So,
all right. Yeah. So I will throw in the stream was perfect this year. I don't know how it's been past, but it was much better than like normal owners meetings. It was pretty easy to sit here and have one of my earbuds in while we were watching some stupid show and just listen along. No video, but you can make do with that. We were just looking at Mackie's computer, I think, as he went through the different slides and had to jump forward and backtrack whenever Alex Wright was going off script. But yeah, some good tidbits there about the international friendly. It's going to be June 22nd. It's going to be a double header with a women's game, it sounds like. Yeah, it sounded like things are sort of moving in the right direction, although, as Alan alluded to, still some financials that are pretty eye-watering, but going the right way. I don't know if anybody thinks the financials are going to be in a very good place until probably we end up moving stadiums, but they didn't seem too worried about it, so I'm not going to get too worried about it. Some good partnerships announced, right. Some good charity partners that were up for selection as our charity partner this year. I don't know when they announce who actually will be the charity partner. I know I voted for CHASS, CHASS, because it sounds like they do very good work. But yeah, seemed like a good night. Seemed like mostly everybody was happy until the jerseys came out. So, gonna jump into thoughts on the kits for this season, and I'm gonna start on this one. I'm just gonna read out the thread I made on it yesterday, which was the home jersey is the chevron navy, purple. Either way, it doesn't belong in the kit of a team we sing for who are rouge and gold. No crest. Terrible. You're putting stars on your jersey, but you can't on your home one. Stupid. Just weird choices here. On the black jersey, is the black jersey the away jersey? Is that what we've ascertained?
The third,
no, it's the third jersey.
Oh, the third. So on the third jersey, I liked last year's away, but they just made them black and took some flourishes away. Boring. Still mint, not for a degree. Sorry, Alan. A silver type.
How dare you?
The TypeScript badge actually would have made sense on that third jersey.
100%.
From the color scheme. Like, I think it would have made a perfect sense. The alternate keeper's jersey, which I feel like is probably the best received one. I said, what is this? Maybe a cool charity kit. If the colors match the cause, the sponsor can't be happy with their logo being lost. Not happy with any of it. The normal keeper's kit is green. I guess Nate likes green. And then,
is that true? Because I feel like we've had green like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, so I figured maybe Nate likes green, so they're making them green. I don't know. And then the away half and half, probably the best one, but I still don't love it. It would maybe have been the one to throw some navy into. Maybe the weird kind of half and half doesn't enthuse me. Just go all out if you're going to go all out. So just make it completely half and half. I don't understand this little curl at the back. Someone was it? I don't know who it was, but someone was saying maybe it was trying to allude to like the fists of Detroit, the fist downtown, which obviously okay with Adidas. We're kind of hamstrung by what their designs are, and all we can do is kind of plug in some colors and apparently typed out club names instead of badges. So there's not a whole ton we can do. I don't know. I don't love them. They are not growing on me at all. Who wants to talk about them next?
I'll go. They are better than what they were last year.
Ooh, controversial.
I thought the away kits last year were awful. It looked like you were waving the white flag. You had a verdigris or a light mint on white, which was it completely clashed. You don't do that. That is, I think that's design 101. You don't do colors that clash, and that's what happened on there. You had a light mint green on white. It clashes. You can't make out anything. It was last year's away kit was an awful kit. So in terms of away this year, away last year, I think away this year definitely takes it. I know Garrett's not a fan of the split or the dual, whatever it is you want to call it. But I think it's okay.
He's not here, so we don't care.
Yeah, so we don't care. It's not.
Garrett that used to be on this podcast, right?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Again, I'm not too big of a fan of gold on white. When we had the gold on white Nisa jerseys, or last year Nisa, I wasn't a big fan of those, but we were successful with them, so I kind of give them a little bit of a pass. Again, they're okay. The aways this year are okay. As far as the homes go, I'm not that big of a. I guess I really don't care if there's blue in it. I don't care if there's a chevron. I'm okay with that. Yeah, the crest on, the absence of the crest is a little weird, and that's going to be a sticking point probably later on down the road, especially if the team doesn't do well. I thought last year's home kit was better than this year's. And as far as that black jersey go, which is funny because I didn't like verdigris at all. I wanted that completely out of the color scheme. But the jersey that I like most, the kit that I like most, is the black kit for this year. Yeah. And one of the biggest misses, though, I think, is them not putting stripes on the shoulders. I know the third kit has it, but the home and the away, once again, don't have the stripes on the shoulders. And if you're going with Adidas, you have to have the stripes on the shoulders.
It's the brand with 3 stripes.
Yes, and that's something, and that's something that they haven't done on the home kit since their last year in Nisa. Last year in Nisa, they had the 3 gold stripes on the home kits. That's the last time they did it. Last year, they had the stripes on the home kit down the side, but not on the shoulders, which is whatever.
Isn't that an Adidas thing, though?
It might be.
Because I think they would control whether or not it, like, in terms of the shirt construction.
It might be.
I don't think that's a design choice. I think it's just, for whatever reason, that template that Adidas sold us, it just doesn't accommodate that. So that, to me, that's weird. That's my primary complaint, is that it doesn't have the stripes.
Yeah,
I'm all about the 3-stripe life.
If it doesn't have the 3 stripes, to me, it just looks like a T-shirt. It looks like you're wearing it. It looks like you're wearing a T-shirt instead of a kit.
Something the guy downtown made in his basement.
Exactly. So
sells outside the gate.
Exactly. And I mean, as far as the keeper kits go, the one that Carlos is wearing, the yellow one, looks like a better version of that Arsenal kit from this year. And the green kit, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's something I've said, that it seems like Nate is only contracted to wear green kits, because that seems like that's all he. I know he's worn other ones, but it seems like
he's sponsored by the color green.
Yes, he's sponsored by the color green, and
like
whenever you
Street.
see Nate, yes,
Hard to be green.
he's always wearing a green kit, it seems. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they're better than last year's kit, but last year's kits were a pretty low bar to pass. So, yeah.
Cool. Alan, you bought one, so why don't you give us a quick rundown? Of
I think the black leather is pretty nice.
It is nice. It looks good on you too. It looks good on you.
It's a little tight, so the sizing is. It couldn't be me. It's the shirt. It's a problem with the shirt.
It's the pleats.
Yeah, it's like fitted somehow. I don't know why.
So it's form fitting then.
Yeah,
it's not one of these soccer kits of the 90s.
No, it's not like a tent. No. I guess based on what we saw in this year's official scarf, I was concerned about a preponderance of whatever we call this color. So, looking at the scarf, I was like, oh, wow, we're going to have a shirt that's going to be that color, and people are going to flip. So when they rolled out the kits, it was like, oh, that's a surprise. I'm not all that worked up about, this or that. I mean, this is a problem with any club that has a distinctive color scheme. Eventually you run out of ways to throw it out there, as a Man City fan, like if we don't have sky blue, full sky blue and white shorts, people get angry. Well, there's only so many like treatments of that you can do. So I can see why they wanted to throw some new stuff out there. It's like people don't like it, they won't buy it, and then they won't do that again. So I'm less worried about it. I think it'll look fine on the players. I am concerned with like bringing in whole new color schemes, but they've been kind of itching to do that. I think the main thing we should probably talk about is the fact that the shirt sponsor didn't change. And that was one of the things that I think everyone was pretty much assuming that would happen this year. The Metro Detroit Chevy dealers deal was extended for a year last year. And we thought, okay, well, then they're going to be done and we're going to get a new shirt sponsor. And it should be a big deal financially because we need it. So I haven't heard the particulars about this sponsorship, whether this is a renewal or if this is an extension. They did change the design a little bit. They made the lettering a little thicker, so they did a little rework on it, but it is the same sponsor. We've had this for a number of years now.
That's a good point, Alan. It was a little disappointing that they.
I was fully expecting we would see a rather large name sponsor, and we didn't get it. So I would like to know more about that.
Yeah, I wonder if they extended by a year onto the end of like their multi-year, because I think they were a multi-year at some point. So maybe
so it either expired last year or this year, or
that
the
seems like something they would have
last year.
done since they renewed. But maybe we'll get Garrett on that when he has some time to do some work for this podcast again. Jaime, what were your thoughts on the jersey reveals?
I thought the home kit is an abomination with no badge. The chevron is fine. I don't mind the navy blue. I think it looks so fun. Like, I think it looks good with the rouge or whatever. I mean, Garrett, I think knows exactly like what the exact color name is.
He got the Pantone numbers for it.
Yeah, he's got the color wheel or something in his room. But
you guys want to know something? Did you guys want to know something about Garrett that he told me yesterday?
Yeah.
He called Adidas to get the exact color name.
I mean, this track.
Saw that on that Renegade podcast that we're not going to discuss here.
Yeah.
So
he called Adidas in Chicago, to get the
I would have liked to hear how that conversation.
Well, he'll listen to this and he'll prepare the story for next week.
But whatever. I just think like you had to have the badge on the home kit. That's my opinion. So I whatever else like.
You guys know why they didn't put the badge on the home kit, right?
Yeah, literally it didn't fit on the chevron or something,
which I don't get. Like, who cares if it doesn't fit?
Right.
Or you can resize the.
It seemed like an odd explanation.
Standard size. Like
they're just if you want to resize it, you could. It's just screen printed on there. It's not like it's a patch or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just seemed like, it was a technical reason we couldn't do that, and it's just like, what? I've never heard that. So,
my guess is when they sent in the design for the home kit, Mackie forgot to include the clip art of the badge, and so
clip art.
they couldn't put it on there. They're like, what are we gonna do? And so anyways, that's my theory. But,
so they put in the mock-up, they put Detroit City in TypeScript as like a placeholder, and just nobody ever questioned it.
Exactly, they forgot.
5,000 of them with the.
We've got departments. We know we're a big club now because we've got departments, but nobody speaks in the departments.
Well, that's pretty normal. So.
But I mean, I do again. I like the script. I think it would look awesome on the black kit, on like the third kit. I just think it's ridiculous for the home kit. I don't have really strong feelings on the away kit. I think it's fine. I don't mind. I kind of like the gold one that Adam hates from 2021. The champagne.
That's the one I hate the most, though.
Called? Yeah. Oh, it's not. What's the one you hate the most?
Probably the pinstripe from the same season. Or wait, no.
That was 2020.
Was that 2020? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mind that one. But anyways. And
I love all city shirts unconditionally.
Do you guys remember for a while there was some guy on Twitter who like actually had every single kit in his that they ever put out. I can't remember what the guy's name is or if he's still on Twitter or not, but like he had every single one, and he had a thread going on where he just posted like every time he got the new one or whatever. So if you're listening, guy, whoever you are,
if you listen, please hit us up. Speaking of listeners who actually listen, we did get a message in from Chris Kovacs after the last episode saying the 22 home kit is clean, but Stroh's black is a classic. Hoping the third kit has a great design. So wondering if he's seen the new designs now. Make it really pop against the rest of the kits. As long as it's not OC god awful kit they showed, I'm good. Which I don't know what that means, but thank you, Chris, for messaging in. Maybe follow up this week with your thoughts on the new kit.
Yep.
And anybody else who wants to do so. This proves that we actually read your messages, so please do hit us up and give us shit to talk about. Because
it's a very
I hate collars too. Collars on kits, no go.
We'll add it to the list, Adam.
Thank you.
Okay, so since we last talked, we did have a couple of matches. We're going to start with the women. I, unsurprisingly, did not see this game because I can't watch games that are shot on security cameras. So I know, obviously, we scored 10 goals, so that's 50 goals in the last 4 games, which is fucking impressive. I don't care what league you're playing in. And we did get news this week that the women are, in fact, in the playoffs, because I know we weren't sure how that was going to work, and there was talk that maybe Columbus would make it and we wouldn't, even though we didn't get to play them. But news has come to us that we are in the playoffs. The women are in the playoffs. They will be held the weekend of the 13th and 14th of April. They will be in Cincinnati, and per the team, per Tiffany, If people were kind of thinking about going to the game this week, and that would affect if they could go to the actual playoffs, the girls would prefer if y'all make it down for the playoffs for that weekend. So
go to both. Come on, Cincinnati's not that far.
Yeah, well, or go to both. Yeah, but if it's a toss-up of one or the other, go give the girls the support when they're there for the whole weekend, playing a few games in a row. But yeah, that's exciting news. Did anybody have any quick thoughts on this game or the playoffs or anything to do with the women's team?
Stream wasn't that bad.
I was just busy.
The soccer bros broadcasting it were probably worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10 goals was the 5 goals the most that we've.
Yeah, I think it doubled what we had
so.
did previously in all our games.
Yeah.
Well, what was the score of the game that they lost? It was like 4-3, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was the previous most. Yeah.
Yeah.
And were they up 7-2 at the half this time? I think so.
Dominant
yeah.
women.
It's just wild that like a 5-goal win is like, man, we were sweating it there. Like that's the closest, like most competitive game we've had in months.
Yeah, it's really getting them prepared for these playoffs that are ahead, and this weekend, I suppose, which are sure to be tougher tests.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with those very enthusiastic insights, the men also had their last friendly of the preseason against Oakland University. We obviously didn't get to watch this whole game. They were 2-1 down at halftime and ended up 4-2 winners. We obviously got a report from Spence about how the match went down. Any thoughts on those from Words About Shapes or any of the clips you've seen or any of the people you've talked to?
Sounded like it was definitely 2 different teams between the first and the second half, obviously, but I got the feeling that maybe they were kind of, taking Oakland for granted there a little bit in the first half, and then they kind of found their legs in the second half, and looked like a USL championship team up against a college squad. So Elvis Amo, I mean, I don't know how many goals he's had this preseason, but it seems like he is, maybe the first legitimate striker that we've had in quite some time.
Yeah.
So that's going to be definitely fun to watch this year. And just the different things that he's going to be able to maybe enable Danny to do offensively, that maybe Trevor couldn't do last year, just, given the lack of options up top. Maybe this helps Ben Morris, be more, shut up, Jaime. Be more.
Maybe it helps Ben get some goals he doesn't have to steal from.
Oh my God.
Yeah, maybe this lets Ben Morris, be a little bit more effective offensively.
Play out on the wing where he's effective.
It does sound like
far away from goal.
It does sound like Ben and Ali and Elvis are linking up a decent amount, which is good because I have Ali marked as my early Black Arrow front runner this year. So it was.
I also heard that Daniel Espolita too is looking really, really good, and could be somebody that could take a lot of pressure off of Maxi this season too. So he's going to let open up Maxi a little bit more, which is, I think, something that this team definitely needs. Sorry, Dennis, go ahead.
It does sound like Maxi is playing with a bit more freedom already, so that's good to hear too. I did have to laugh at Ali being shocked that Puck knew who Bows were at the Paddy's Day Parade yesterday, as he was dodging drinks because he might have had too heavy a night at the season kickoff on Saturday. So Jaime, any thoughts on the last preseason game or how we're looking going into this first game, which we'll talk about in a sec?
No, I mean, I know like Red, if he were on here, he'd be, calling me a nerd for like trying to think about maybe the tactical setup. It seems like we have experimented with. What's that?
That's why I banned him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Good, thanks. So it feels like we've experimented with a couple of different shapes out there in the preseason. So it'll be I'm interested to see what we actually roll out against Colorado. But it seems like maybe there's a little bit more flexibility with Dikio, which is cool. And yeah, obviously, I mean, we need goals. So for Amo to get on the score sheet again, I think is pretty big. Hopefully for his confidence, for the team as well. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool, Alan. Anything to throw in there? Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I watched the highlights that they posted on YouTube, and it's hard to interpret that, though. It did seem like we're getting some good link-up play going, and I think it's good to end the preseason with a win, regardless of who you're playing, because I think that does have a mental impact. So, yeah, I guess Jaime kind of anticipated my question. Is like, who's our starting 11? And I don't really have a good feel for it. There's obviously some people that you can slot right in, but how that's gonna flow, I don't. I think we're gonna have to see a couple games at least for that's gonna be settled. And the game out in Colorado is probably not going to be in great, conditions. Cold and rainy out there, I think, is the weather forecast. So that doesn't help, like, kind of get clarity on some of this stuff, because it will just be kind of a rough turnout. So maybe the home game, we'll get a better sense. So
yeah, I think we all are interested to see what the team sheet will be beyond the number one name down on the team sheet, which is obviously Connor. So yeah, to see who the other 10 will be interesting. It does seem like we're working with a shape, and as Alan alluded to there, like our first match of the season coming up this Saturday in Colorado, sponsored by It Dropped Today at the field house, or at the clubhouse, Terminix, which is obviously a direct slight towards Sergio's pest control, which, who knew we were going to get a pest control turf for before the season starts.
Right.
But I mean, we're just going to add Terminix to our long list of new sponsors that we have this season, which include Pop, who do prosthetics, orthotics, and pet orthics. Pronouncing that right, Shrodex, Versiti, Scarfmate, which I'm still not sure isn't, and I think you should leave, Skit, because I went on their website today and it says
no evidence that it exists.
It said product coming soon, but then it has a description of how the product is going to make your life easier, but no pictures of the product. So I think that might be still a Netflix collaboration, if I'm honest. We've got Mogo on there, so maybe we'll be getting some bike parking again this year. Back to You, which is some sort of chiropractor, which I think is hokum, so I'm not going to go in on that. And then DTE again, which I just wanted to list those out to show that we do some research on this show. But also, we have a lot of sponsors this year, so maybe those figures we were talking about from the annual owners meeting earlier will be looking a bit better again next year.
Shout out to TJ and the commercial staff, because they are trying as hard as they can.
I think TJ is
full
killing
credit.
it. By the sounds of all our new partners and sponsors, yeah, it seems like TJ's killing it there. So, we do start our season.
It's a tough town to shake that money tree.
It seems like it, yeah. We wanna get onto Ally a bit more maybe and see what we can get from there. But obviously we start our season away to Colorado, who lost 2-0 at the weekend. I don't know if anybody got to see any of that. I certainly did not. But yeah, how are we feeling about this first game? And what do we think might happen? Jaime.
Well, this will come as a big surprise. I actually did watch the first half of Miami, Colorado. It was weird because some people were like live tweeting it over the weekend, and they were saying, "Oh, Colorado looks terrible." But I actually thought they were maybe the better team in the first set. They hit the post twice, and they forced the goalkeeper into some pretty tough saves. So they looked all right, I thought, in attack. They got caught on the counterattack, I think, in the goals. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll definitely have our hands full. You know, Denis is the big name that they signed out in off season, and he's a pretty prolific goal scorer in this league. So you know, we're gonna have to keep an eye on him, and took a lot of shots from kind of long range. So it feels like the center mids are gonna kind of have a big job to kind of close down those spaces, hopefully. But yeah, we'll probably win 3-0. So.
All right, well, that answers the question of what you think the scoreline will be. Adam.
Yeah, I agree with Jaime. I wasn't able to watch it because I was at the owners' meeting, but I was kind of keeping some tabs on it, and I don't get where people are coming off saying that Colorado looks horrible because they have like 21 shots and held the majority of the possession.
Do you know what their XG was, Adam?
I think it was like a 5 or something like that.
Outrageous.
Holy moly.
I don't know what their XG was. But yeah, I mean, I mean, to me that, you know, my first impression when I see something like that is, you know, you had some bad luck that night. And that's kind of what I'm taking from it, is that Colorado had a little bit of bad luck on the road, and they lost a game they probably should have ended up winning in the end. I know they're a talented team. I hear that they are, you know, towards the top as far as payroll goes in the league, so they can afford a lot of talent. And I think City's going to have their hands full. I'm hoping that City's obviously going to come out on top, but I wouldn't be surprised either way if they win or if they lose. I'll go ahead and say City wins 2-1.
All right, so we got 3-0, 2-1.
I mean, the thing is, you can't. I mean, it's so hard to judge these opening week games, especially when you have a bunch of new players, you have a new head coach. So yeah, I'll stick with 2-1 though.
It's funny you mention XG because I do actually have the XG of that game.
Ooh.
Colorado Springs were top of the XG this week with 1.31.
That's it.
I was close with 5.
Yeah, and they were actually followed closely by Indy 11 at 1.22 and Phoenix Rising at 1.02. And what is it that all those teams have in common? Does anybody know?
They lost.
They all lost. XG is hokum.
Exactly.
So with that revelation, Alan, give us some thoughts about the game this weekend.
Well, yeah, I was just looking at the stats from the Miami Colorado Springs game, and Colorado Springs almost had twice as many accurate passes. So they're just moving the ball around a lot. So, you know, maybe we can capitalize on that. I don't really. I mean, it seems like if we can get a decent result there, that's going to set a good tone. So I'm really more hopeful than expecting anything at this point, till I can actually see what we're putting together. I'm always a little skeptical when we have to do travel and all of that jazz. So I'm going to go 1-1. Just that way travel, I think, is kind of weighs us down a little bit.
Yeah. I think I echo a lot of the thoughts here, especially Alan's. That if Colorado are going to have the ball a lot, and Double D is coming from a team that likes to counterattack, so that will maybe into what he'll be looking to do, especially away from home in the season opener, and their home opener. Of course, we already mentioned the weather's meant to be not great this weekend, but like that shouldn't really affect us because the team have been training in whatever conditions for the last few weeks, so shouldn't really
might affect Ali.
It might affect Ali if he.
This is really cold at the parade.
If Ali doesn't
bundled up like it was
the right jacket to the game,
-20.
But I'm sure Tiffany will bail Ali out again like she did at the parade on Sunday. It's funny because Ali is Scottish and he spent the last 4 years in Ireland. Like neither of these places is a fucking tropical oasis. Like Ali,
Wasn't that cold on Saturday?
You know what it is to be cold. You know what it is to get that cold in your bones.
Cold and rainy. That should be ideal conditions for him.
Yeah, honestly. Maybe he slept at one of the boys' houses Saturday night and just came straight to the game or to the parade in his trackie that he was wearing. I think 2-1 City. I'll go Elvis with a debut goal, and I guess I gotta go like Devin. One of the defenders gets the other one. And yeah, we get a good start to the season. That game obviously is at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Will it be on CBS Detroit? I assume so, right? It's not a national game. So as part of the new deal, it should be on CBS Detroit. But also we'll have a couple watch parties going, or 3 at least that I know of. So there'll be one at the field house, the clubhouse, one at the New Dodge Lounge, which is the new NGS spot for games. So if that's a little closer to people. And then also I know that the Ann Arbor NGS organization are having their watch party. Chapter, yeah. I forget what that bar is called, though. Does anyone know what that bar is called?
I think it's going to be at Rapport.
Rapport, yeah. That one, yeah. All right, so to wrap this up in the next 6 minutes and keep it under an hour, let's do some final thoughts. Jaime, go.
Well, I just want to wish Red all the best in his endeavors tonight. May they all be come to fruition, and may the odds ever be in your favor.
Adam, follow that one up.
I'm going to talk about the TV deal because I think that's next level. That's a game changer for City as far as promoting the product and everything like that. Big announcement. And do
you want to say what what it is?
Yeah, they are with CBS Detroit now. CBS Detroit will be broadcasting all of their home and away games this upcoming season. I believe the women's USLW side will be streamed for free by CBS online. And like I said, it was already the most accessible professional Detroit sports team in the city, and they're even more accessible now. Moving forward. Well, maybe not more accessible than they're just as accessible as the Lions. Accessible as the Lions. The Lions are always on either, I guess whenever they're on Peacock. I don't know if they're ever on Peacock or anything like that though. But anyways, CBS
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, Sunday Night. Yeah, CBS Sports, Detroit or CBS Detroit. Sometimes they'll be on the CW, WKBD, and it's nobody can ever use the excuse anymore that you couldn't use it before that I don't want to watch them, I don't want to invest my time because I don't know where you can watch them, and I don't you can never watch them on TV, they're never on TV, blah 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 blah. Well, no, that's not the case anymore. They're on free local television, and they were always very accessible before with ESPN Plus, and even before this deal was announced this season. Still very accessible through Paramount Plus, ESPN Plus, Golazo, and all those different networks. So yeah, there's a tons of different ways you can catch this team this year, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so good segue into that. The full details are every home and away game broadcast on CBS Detroit. So in the Detroit metro area, you can get every single game except the 5 that are being nationally broadcast, which is obviously the joint most in the league. And those ones will be on CBSN or CBS.
We don't have time for you to repeat what I just said, Dennis. So
I'm doing, because in the rest of Michigan, everyone can still watch them free, which is not what you said, online. So anyone in Michigan can stream the games online for free. And then all of the women's games will be able to be streamed nationally online through CBS Detroit and their website. So even I can watch the fucking women's games through CBS Detroit, which is fucking huge. And good job.
Don't mess with the host, Adam.
Did you see this hair? All right, Alan, give us your final thoughts.
One of the things we found out at the owners' meeting is our kit man is leaving off to Minnesota United. So this is the second kit man we've lost to MLS. So don't know what I feel about that. Best wishes.
It's one place we're excelling.
We're doing really good in the kit department. So
hot kit man.
Yeah, the TV deal is big. I want to get more details. You know, is this going to be on their primary linear channel? Is it going to be on one of the overflow digital channels? I don't know, but in any case, those games will be available, and it's a step up from the deal we had with Channel 20, which wasn't as, you know, it was okay, but it wasn't as broad a deal as this one is. This includes a lot of games and the streaming platform, which I think that does make a difference in terms of you can just tell people one stop they got to go, and they can go get those games. So that's going to be good for visibility. We know that these stations get picked up around the state, so this could put us back into statewide circulation, which we started with for a while, and then the outstate channels kind of lost interest. So, if they're just picking up the Detroit channel, then they're going to get the games. So that's cool. What else? I think that's about it.
Cool. Yeah, we can't overstate how big a deal this fucking TV deal is. Streaming these games is really slapped on. Like, even since we went to ESPN Plus, the ability for me to just throw the stream from my phone to like one of my buddies' TVs, like even if we're there to watch some other sporting event or like whatever, like it really increases the ability to like bring other people into the fold. So yeah, it's pretty huge. Yeah, I guess
Serious
my
question.
only go on.
Serious question. Like, where do you watch? Like, can you catch MLS Next Pro games? Are those on Apple TV also?
I think they are, but honestly,
so.
I have no fucking idea. Like,
yeah,
I haven't even attempted to watch this new Gaelic football team I'm about to start playing for here in Chicago. In our group chat the other day, a guy said, "Hey, our amateur team are playing at Chicago Fire next week in the Open Cup," and I'm unsure if this dude is on the team or is this like his team that he supports, or like I don't know, but it's like Chicago United or something. And I was funny to see these worlds colliding, but like I'm not going to pay $20 fucking to go watch Chicago Fire in some fucking field in the suburbs. So,
do we talk about the Town FC becoming a MLS Next Pro?
Listen, Adam, I gave you your chance, right? That's just gonna have to fucking wait till next week. Fuck. All right.
Host has ruled. Out of order.
My final thought is, and I think it's something that might have been mentioned at the owners meeting and has definitely come up in a few of our groups, is that at the home opener, the club and NGS are going to honor those fans that we've kind of lost over the last 12 seasons, both front office and NGS have different things that they're planning. But like, I would implore anybody who listens to this that may know a fan who we lost in the preceding 12 years, that you don't know if anyone put their name forward for this like in memoriam kind of thing that we're doing, that the club are doing, like to please get it to somebody. Like if you email the club or like email one of us or message one of us or whatever, just so that like nobody can be kind of hurt by feeling like they were left out or anything, because they really want people to be celebrated. And it's, you know, we just talked about it with the TV deal. The club is the most accessible club probably in the country. So just email someone at the club, tweet at the club, like whatever the fuck, just get their name in, just so that if there's somebody you feel like should be recognized, that they will be. And it's a really cool thing that the club are doing. It is not groundbreaking. Other clubs have done it, but like the club have decided or realized that they've maybe been slacking in this regard, and they're making up for it now. And yes, we'll be doing the same. So yeah, get those names in if there's anybody you can think of. And yeah, so a nice final thought this week, not a fucking slamming somebody. So yeah, with that, we can end my first week hosting, and yeah, up the fucking city.
Yeah.
City till I die, say hi to the bad guy. Pretty gritty in the key, you see our flag fly, chin check, cash check. We came to sweep the leg. With all disrespect, the rules will bruise your head. 2012, the scene pop, we came to clean clocks. Your team is dream drop, we gave some mean knocks. Stomping on the comp, yeah, we chomping on the bit. Many came and went, but they ain't stopping none of it. Community built, community owned. Roasting foes coast to coast, leave your hope postponed. Spirit of Detroit, lemons the lemonade. Yemen and Bangladesh make a stronger braid. City in the city, within the city, with deep witty with the banter, cause I can't concrete. Now come and get it if you with it, we committed to go. Detroit versus everybody, you already know. Locked and loaded, always ready to bust. Pop and smoke, leave these jokers in dust. City of black, excellence is a must. To leave these crusty little clowns in a ring of rust. From southwest to Brightmoor, 5 points to Denby. Ain't no friendly, we leave our enemies empty with envy. Yeah, we coming heavy, and we're sinking your ship. Now it's time to show the world who they messing with. The rules on the scene, wipe your feet when you creep through the gates of keys. We holding the crown, many enter our grounds, but they get pounded down. Let's turn around, you enter through those gates, you face your fate now. Come take your shot, many come, but they don't leave, they cleave to what we got. City till I die, say hi to the bad guy. It's a pity that your city's too itty bitty to fly, but we clipping the wings even if they don't flap. Take it back to 2010 and you'll see where we at. This ain't a deep pocket, they try but can't knock it intact. You can't drop it, they buy it, can't cop it, yeah we got it locked. Taking over the game, you see that crust up on our chest, ain't gotta say the name. Community led, community rooted. You can't purchase what was built, you know you feel the movement. This is how we do it, you see, repping the deep. 750,000